Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Friends Without the Border Japan's the very first at-home charity event. My name is Mana Tomitori, and I'm your host this evening for the English stream. Thank you very much for joining us. This weekend, we will be sharing experience from people who work at Lao Friends Hospital for Children, the children's hospital we built and currently manage. Tonight, we will have Ria Tai and Dr. Mia Kanak, childhood friends from Tokyo, who reunited at Lao Friends Hospital for Children. Before I introduce them, I would like to recap where we are at our fundraising activities. As a reminder, the proceeds from this weekend's event will be benefit for Lao Friends Hospital for Children, the free children's hospital that we built and currently manage. This week's event includes the live streaming program that I'll be hosting and 3 ways you can participate in our mission. One is the online auction. You can bid on your favorite items as many times as you like until Sunday, 9 p.m. Japan time. There is a variety of auction items such as premium wine and vacation package and beauty and health that heals your mind and souls. During this pandemic, I myself was really stressed working at home, and gong meditation, which is one of the auction items, is a sound meditation that healed me so much. So you really have to try this. Second is the Found a Lifeline donation drive. We are raising money to pay for masks and gloves and hospitalization for children. Third is the Southeast Asian e-shop. In partnership with the Tokyo-based Asian Impression, you can shop and purchase one of the kind craft. At this time, I would like to share with you from Luang Prabang, Laos, a message from Tom Rutherford. He is the Aman's Regional Director of Indochina and the General Manager of Amantaka. I would like to emphasize how incredibly supportive Aman has been from the beginning. Please enjoy Tom's message.
Sabadi, konnichiwa, and hello. My name is Tom Rutherford. I'm the General Manager of Amantaka, which is situated in the UNESCO Heritage Town of Luang Prabang in the northern parts of Laos. The Lao Friends Hospital for Children was opened just over 5 years ago. Over these years, we've supported this much needed hospital, looking after children in many different ways. An extremely important part of what Aman does is building strong relationships in the community, and in doing so, benefiting the people around us and not just our guests that stay with us. The Lao Friends Children's Hospital is no different, and for me personally, it's been an extremely rewarding process being so closely involved with them over the past years. So Luang Prabang, it is the spiritual capital of Laos. We have over 30 temples in this relatively small town. Every morning, all of the monks come out of those temples and walk in single file collecting alms. This is a tradition that's been going on for centuries. Amantaka is positioned on one of these routes. The Lao Friends Hospital for Children this year hosts its first online charity event. This to raise funds for the amazing children's hospital in Luang Prabang. I can't state enough how important this is for the children of Luang Prabang and their families. Thank you for your involvement, thank you for your generous bids, and I look forward to welcoming you to Amantaka in Luang Prabang in the near future.
Thank you, Tom. Wow, Luang Prabang is so beautiful. I can see why it's the UNESCO's World Heritage Site. I really wanted to go. Thank you, Tom and Aman, again for donating this beautiful vacation package for this online auction. Please check the URL in your YouTube chat and for the details information. Thank you very much. Now, I am very pleased to introduce you to Dr. Mia Kanak, who is a pediatric doctor at the Children's Hospital in Los Angeles, and Rie Tai, who is a healthcare consultant. They were childhood classmates who reunited at the Lao Friends Hospital for Children when Mia was a volunteer doctor and Rie was a development director of external relations. They're here to share with you the experience of working at the hospital to save children and unite the local community.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mia Kanak, and I'm a pediatric emergency medicine physician at Children's Hospital Los Angeles. I had the privilege of volunteering at Lao Friends Hospital for Children in September of 2017 when I was a pediatric resident at Boston Children's Hospital, which has an affiliation with the hospital. I grew up in Tokyo and went to Nishimachi.
Hi, and my name is Rie Tai. I am currently working in Tokyo as a healthcare consultant, but I worked at LFHC for a year and a half from 2016 till 2018 as their director of external relations. And I'm also from Tokyo, went to school with Mia in elementary school. So when she arrived at the hospital during one of our regular morning meetings, I was very surprised to see a familiar face. Remember that?
Yeah, I was really excited to see you after 15 years.
Yeah, it's been great. It was great having you volunteering at the hospital. So maybe if you wanted to share a little bit about your experience as a doctor at the hospital, that'd be great.
Sounds great. So I had two main responsibilities as a physician volunteer. The first responsibility was patient care, so the diagnosis and treatment of pediatric patients who came to the hospital. And the second responsibility was education. I had many memorable cases while I was at Lao Friends Hospital for Children. I saw common conditions like pneumonia or urinary tract infections that you might see in Japan and the United States. But I also saw conditions like beriberi, which is a vitamin B1 deficiency, where infants arrive looking very sick. They can barely move, they can't eat on their own, they're malnourished. And once you actually give them some vitamins back, they come back to life as if nothing had happened to them and are fully cured. I also saw Japanese encephalitis, or Nihon Noen. There was an outbreak when I was there because they don't have the vaccine for that in Lao Friends. And on all of those patients, we would perform a careful neurologic exam. This is a picture of me and two Lao doctors performing a neurologic exam on one of the patients. My most memorable patient case I had was of a 10-year-old boy who was sitting in his house when a truck drove into his house, which led for him to have a traumatic brain injury, which included a pretty severe brain bleed, as well as multiple broken bones. And when I first met him, he was comatose in the hospital, unable to eat or drink or talk for multiple weeks. But with the treatment that we were able to provide him at the hospital, things like anti-seizure medicines, nutrition through IV or a tube, and physical therapy, by the time my time there was over, about a month later, he was up, talking, walking, which was just incredible to see that we were able to provide that level of excellent medical care that I was used to providing in the US, but in Laos.
Yeah, that sounds really amazing. And working at the hospital from a non-clinical perspective, I think what was really amazing was to see some of these children who, injuries as well, physical injuries, but very almost on their deathbed, and to see them come back and feel better and then get discharged in a matter of weeks was truly amazing.
My second responsibility as a volunteer physician was the education of Lao doctors. There were about 15 Lao doctors that I worked with when I was there, and most of them were a couple of years out of medical school, mostly in Laos, some who had attended in Vietnam or China. All of them were very eager to learn about the standard of care and how we practice medicine in the US where I'm from, and also how other doctors in places like Australia and the UK who are also there to volunteer at the same time practice medicine. And so it was a great opportunity to learn or teach them about how we do things in the US, but also learn from them about things that I didn't see, like I mentioned, like beriberi or Japanese encephalitis or typhoid, that they're much more used to taking care of than I was.
Yeah, and I think one of the aspects that really drew me to working at the hospital was the sustainability aspect. And what that means is to, help make the care more constant and standardized by providing medical education to the Lao staff, and on the administrative side too, to kind of train how a hospital is run, how fundraising activities need to be sustained here on in the future. So I think it's great that, the focus of Lao Friends is sustainability. And so when I was working there, one of my responsibilities was, fundraising. The half marathon in Laos was one of the major activities that I had helped organize. But on the side, we also wanted to improve community engagement with the Luang Prabang community. And one of the activities that we had started was an outreach program. We worked with the outreach team and the nurses and doctors to create a program that was actually hosted in a lot of a garbage disposal right outside of the town. A lot of children and families live around those areas and don't have regular access to healthcare. So we thought it would be nice if we built a clinic, like a one-day clinic, where children can come with their families to get a health checkup. And so on this day, we had about 40 children come. Some of them needed to be referred to the hospital. So we helped them get transportation to the hospital, and they were treated there. But I think it was really great to see a lot of the community members from Luang Prabang, so a lot of the hotel owners, local shops and businesses who helped donate clothes, food, financially as well, so that we can get this clinic up and running. And so it was really great to see the community come together with the hospital to support the children in Luang Prabang. And the other kind of program that we started while I was there was the local blood drive. It kind of started from a need to get more blood due to increasing number of thalassemia patients that we were seeing. And so in thalassemia, you need regular blood transfusions for children. Otherwise, I guess Mia, you can also explain more, but the bone structure of their faces changed and they can't grow physically or normally. Is that right?
Exactly. And they also, when you run out of red blood cells that are working well, get really pale and tired. So oftentimes you'll have like a toddler who used to be able to run around. All of a sudden they'll stop running around and they'll just kind of sit, in the corner of the house not wanting to do anything, or kids that are school age maybe don't have the energy to go to school, but once they can get a blood transfusion, they feel back to themselves again.
Right. And so we saw an increasing number of patients who needed blood transfusions, but because the local blood bank didn't have enough blood, I thought it'd be nice to engage the Luang Prabang community and have people donate their blood for children. So we started a monthly blood drive. And so the photo on the right is of people donating blood. And what I found really interesting was that, blood donations isn't a common thing. There are a lot of myths behind it, that you would get tired, you could only donate blood once in your life, or if you do, then you get sick. And so part of the blood donation program was education on blood donation and how that helps the transfusion recipient, so the children. And I think this is still ongoing, and I think it's great to be able to engage the community as well to see, I think it's an example of how anyone can help support the hospital financially, but also by donating blood. So yeah, that was a really exciting program, and I'm happy to hear that it's still going on right now. But yeah, I think I also wanted to talk about how we are still supporting Lao Friends Hospital for Children, even though we're not working there or volunteering there anymore. I think there's a lot of ways that we still support and think that everyone participating in this event can help as well. So for example, because the Luang Prabang Half Marathon event was canceled due to COVID-19, I'll be running a half marathon on my own here in Japan. And I started a fundraising page so that I've asked a lot of my friends and family to donate towards the run that will all go back to the hospital.
It's great for you, Rie. I'm a terrible runner, so I could never do a half marathon. I always dream about going back to Lao Friends as a volunteer again. I think hopefully maybe in the next couple of years I might be able to do that. In the meantime, I'm always talking about my experience with physicians and nurses that I work with, and talking about how great of an experience it is to try to get them to go. And then trying to fundraise, like for my birthday last year, my brother and sister-in-law actually made a donation to Lao Friends instead of buying me a gift. So little things here and there to keep that connection alive, because I agree with you, Rie, it's an amazing place.
Yeah, and I think that even if you aren't able to visit, just talking about what the hospital does, the impact that it's making for the children there is helpful enough. And, if you are able to support through the auction, that would also be really appreciated. So I wanted to take the time to thank everyone for joining in, and we hope that we can, that you can support Lao Friends Hospital for Children, because it's a really great cause.
Thank you. ありがとうございました。
ありがとうございました。
Wow. What a small world. Even in a global way of lives like this, we found ourselves connected through the similar cause. Mia and Rie, both from Tokyo, find themselves saving the lives of children in Laos after 15 years. The 10-year-old boy's brain injury and the newly formed blood drive were all amazing stories of how each of us can make the difference. Thank you, Mia and Rie, for sharing the amazing story. If you would like to support our mission, please take a look at our event homepage. You can see 3 simple ways to contribute: through our online auction, and through our donation page, and by shopping on our eShop. Thank you very much for joining us this evening. I will be back again on Sunday, 11 a.m. Japan time, to introduce you to the woman who keeps the ship running at Friends Without the Border Japan. Emi Nagano and Chizuru Sugimoto will talk about their experience of building the hospital from Japan and how they have grown to love the children at Laos. Tomorrow's segment will be streamed in Japanese. Thank you very much for joining, and have a wonderful evening, and have a great day for the people around the world.